friends, welcome back to No Ma'am. Today we are recapping The Traitors, Season 4, Episode 6. Are you with the Traitor-on-Traitor betrayal? Did Rob really sell out Lisa? Find out our thoughts.
But before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
All right, Giovanni, I'm going to ask you, do you think Rob was right at selling out Lisa?
Yes. Well, I see why
Yes,
she
yes.
thought it was right.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that when we get to that point. Okay, but you heard it first.
I'm a Robert apologist.
I don't know.
That man could betray all of them. I don't give a fuck.
I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why I disagree, but we'll get there. So at breakfast, we see that Kristen comes in with Maura and Rob, and she's saying that she's relieved because Michael is no longer there because Michael got banished the previous episode, and then now she's able to think really clear because they don't have Michael as a distraction.
Huh?
Now, a part of me agrees because I'm like, okay, that was really smart. Like, yes, Michael was a distraction, but another part of me is like, we couldn't move past the noise that Michael Rappaport was giving. Like, was he that big of a distraction that we couldn't have, like, said, you know what, Michael, shut the fuck up?
Well, you can't tell Michael shut the fuck up. I mean, you saw that very clearly. You can tell it to him, and he'll just keep going louder and louder and louder.
True. But then also, I look at it like this. I think it was really smart for the Traitors to keep Michael around because they could have used him as a shield.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what they were doing. They were never going to murder Michael.
Yeah, I love that from a Traitor perspective and a Traitor's gameplay, as that you keep people who are very problematic around because it takes the heat off of you. And now, especially when the numbers get dwindled down, you can now say, oh, okay, well, when it gets to the point in which we have to eliminate Michael, then we will have to essentially either murder him or banish him. But Michael may banish himself, which essentially that's what he did the last episode. Maura asks the group, is anybody going to go for Ron? Because at the end of the day, it was Michael, but then it was also Ron. Ron, to a lot of them, was untrustworthy because he was strong and wrong. He would say a different name every single time he was at the round table.
Yep, strong and wrong Ron.
Yeah. And then Rob asks Maura and Kristen, do they think if anybody will be missing from breakfast? Because we left off on a cliffhanger. We did not know if any of the cast members took a shield or not from the previous mission. So I have a question, and this has been bothering me. And then shout out to Traitor Turret Pod. Shout out to y'all because I loved listening to your episode. I think you have amazing commentary and banter, and I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. I love it. Like, their chemistry is great. So shout out to y'all. They're saying, why don't the Faithfuls want to take shields? I'm so confused as to where this is coming from.
So it made sense the previous episode where it was like, if somebody takes a shield, there's going to be a murder. If no one takes one, there's no murder. That made sense to me why everyone was like, well, we're not going to take shields because then essentially everyone gets a shield. This episode made no sense for me. For them to be like, oh no, we don't want the shields.
Again, I see what you mean about last episode. But last episode, if nobody took a shield, no one got murdered. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it was like basically everyone gets a shield. This doesn't make sense because it's like, girl, they're going to murder regardless. Do you want to be killed or do you want to be saved?
I don't understand why they think that's a bad thing. The shields are for the Faithfuls. Like, take the shields. Like, the shields don't call out a traitor. They don't.
Nope. I would be suspicious of the, like, if I were in the house, I'd be suspicious of the ones that said, well, let's not take shields. Who was that? It was
Natalie,
who was like, you will be banished. Excuse me? The fuck?
Right.
Why are you so against me taking the shield?
Exactly. Right. Traitors only take the shield to eliminate a shield from getting into a Faithful's hand. So they tend to go for shields so that they could murder a Faithful. But like the fact that Faithfuls are saying nobody's going for a shield just makes no sense to me because that is your guarantee to not get murdered.
I'm confused.
You would want the shield so that you will know who the traitor is. Like, what's the point of you not wanting to get murdered? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But
me neither.
The Traitors Turret Pod, they were talking about the same thing too. And I wanted to bring it up because I'm like, I think we're all on the same page. Like, this is really bad gameplay for the Faithfuls.
It is. I mean, honestly, they're just not doing really good gameplay at all this season.
They're not. I'm so confused. And then Lisa comes in, and honestly, she again is doing too much. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy." Lisa needs to calm down because she's putting a lot of eyes on Lisa.
I mean, we saw the results of that.
It's getting to a point where it's like she's doing too much, and you can see that Rob is looking at her like, "Lisa, you need to calm down. Like, you need to calm down." And then Ron comes in and he says that he is just so happy to be there. And honestly, I felt really sad for Ron this episode because I feel like he is so defeated. And okay, I cannot say that the cast, in my opinion, has bullied Ron. Like, I can't say that. But Ron did start by being really strong in his conviction. And he's so committed to every single time that he had said a name. And I get that it was the name of the game. But I do agree with Ron saying what he said in the roundtable. Because you were harping on something he's done in like the first episode, but there have been other folks who have been strong and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So the math is not mathing.
Roundtable, we'll get to it.
Mm-hmm. Like, the math is not mathing because there's been other people who have been strong and wrong as well. But all of a sudden, now he's the scapegoat? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm like a little confused as to like why, right? Like, I just don't understand that piece because everybody else has been strong too, and wrong in most cases. But Natalie says that she thinks they've gotten one up on the traitors. And then Kristen is like, I don't know, because she doesn't really trust everybody. And I'm with Kristen because at this point, there's some shady business happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not everybody can be trustworthy. Johnny, I love that we're getting to see a little bit of more Johnny Weir, and he's actually talking because at first I was like, what happened to Johnny? Where's Johnny? Like, where is the personality it's going to come out? And so he says he can't trust anybody but Tara. Remember, again, him and Tara are best friends. And so they came into the competition trying to separate themselves so that they can have their little alliance, but nobody knows that they're together. Which, I'm confused because if you follow Olympic sports, then you know Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski. Even if you don't know the Housewives or don't know The Bachelor, everybody knows Olympians.
Well, to some extent.
Who doesn't know figure skating?
I know Johnny. I know Tanya.
Everybody knows Chrissy Yamaguchi, Michelle Kwan.
Chrissy. Yes.
Tanya Harding.
I said Tanya, bitch.
What's his face? What's his name?
I don't know. You're the one who's referring to him.
Rippon. What's his name?
Adam Rippon?
Right.
Hello.
Thank you. Right.
Was it Michael Adam?
It was one of those Rippon. I just know he Rippon. I remember that. But like, yeah, the little boy. Like, everybody knows these figure skaters.
Fair enough.
Oh my god, I forgot her name. From the figure skater from Botswana. Oh my god, the black one.
What the fuck Botswana is?
First of all, Botswana is an African country, and I'm gonna need you to take that back. I'm gonna need you to
I can't even name you all the states, bitch.
I'm gonna need you to roll it back because we're not gonna do that. Okay. But so Johnny says that, and I found this to be really interesting because I didn't even think about this. He said that it's only going to take a handful of faithfuls to swing any roundtable vote because the numbers have dwindled down. So they need about 8 of the faithfuls to come together. And if they can have a unified force with the 8, then they can pretty much sway any vote to their favor. And I was like, where was this Johnny Weir in the beginning?
Right. Where was this Johnny Weir when he was just lollygagging about picking those little daisies or whatever the fuck it was?
I'm like, so Johnny is strategic? I have no idea.
He should have brought that up. He should have brought that out from the beginning because you never know. You could have been like the first one murdered.
You could have. And we said that. We was like, they have to be saving Johnny for something because his storyline has to come from someplace. And we got to see Tara. We got to see Mark Ballas come out of his shell. I guess it's because they did better with smaller groups than they did with larger ones. So who knows?
And a lot of the loud personality is gone.
That's true. And then we see that the last ones that potentially could have taken a shield was Eric, Jam Jam, Colton, and Dorinda. But all of them come into breakfast, and so we realize that no one has taken a shield. And so the faithfuls are so excited. And I'm so confused as to why, as a faithful, you're excited that no one took a shield. Like, you should be happy.
Yeah, that. Very much that.
You should get a shield. Get yourself a
Well,
shield.
Okay, yes. I mean, it made sense for the previous challenge because, like, again, it was like if nobody takes it, it's basically everyone getting one. But in challenges that aren't that, no, everybody should be, or anyone who has the opportunity to take a shield should take it.
Right. And then we see that Colton, he leans over to Dorinda and he says, take a look at Lisa, because his gut feeling is telling him that Lisa is a traitor. But he knows that he doesn't have that much clout because he took a big swing at Tiffany, and Tiffany was wrong.
Very wrong, yeah.
Yes. But then we also see that Steven, he's in the kitchen and he says that he acts as if pretty much everyone has a target still on Ron, to which majority of them are saying that, yes, Ron is a traitor and we have to banish Ron. But again, Lisa is doing too much with her no. She's like, no, like, of course, yeah, like, no, like, yeah, like, no. Ron has to go. Like, yeah, like he's a traitor, like all this. And I'm just looking at her like, Lisa, you are digging a hole for yourself. You just need to stop.
Very much that.
Like, but then again, I don't know if it was because of the editing and it makes it seem like she's over dramatic. It could partially be that too, or if she really was just going in on the nose and being over the top. So
I don't know. It felt weird.
It did. Then we see that Colton is really trying to persuade people that he's still going to vote Ron, but he thinks it's someone else. And he says that he just pretty much is going to try to tell as much people about how he feels, but he's going to say, listen, I'm still going to go Ron, but I don't think Ron is the traitor. I think it's very convenient that we're still keeping Ron around. And then we see that Rob and Ron are together, and then he says that he already knows that he's getting banished at the round table.
It was so disheartening to see.
Yeah. That he was so defeated.
Yeah, like I was about to say that. Like you said earlier, like he looked very defeated.
It was like he just looked so defeated. And I was just like, wow, like this is so sad. The fact that he has mentally like prepared himself to get banished. And I'm like, wow. Like you honestly think that your time is up to the point where you have no fight left. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, nobody's gonna think that you're a traitor now.
No.
You've proved to them that you're not.
But then they still voted for him. Fucking bitches.
This is also true. Yes. So then Rob asks Ron if he has heard of anybody saying his name. And Ron is like, no, like nobody has said your name. You're good. Like you would have make an amazing traitor because you're like, unsuspicious. Nobody's checking for you. Lo and behold, Rob is a traitor. And I'm like, okay.
Great traitor at that.
To a point. I think there's some missteps with Rob, and I'm going to tell you why later on. But we also see that Johnny is coming up with his master plan, and he says that he's trying to get people into that. So he tells a group about his plan. Mark says that we need to look at Colton and Ron because Ron is just being Ron, and Ron has been really strong in his conviction, but also Colton has been the one that has been whipping up the votes, and we need to figure out why he's been whipping up the votes. Colton and Natalie have a private chat, and Colton tells Natalie that he's on to Lisa because of the unspoken rule that you never go against another housewife. Which I was like, that's a stupid ass rule, but sure, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, if that's your only evidence of Lisa being a traitor is because she went against the housewife, like,
and
that's
not the
stupid.
fact that she was up for murder twice and didn't get murdered.
Right, correct. But, which Natalie goes, yes, she was also one of the people who didn't vote for Donna. Lisa was one of the folks at the round table that did not vote for Donna, and Donna ended up being a traitor. So if you look at it, it looks like a traitor helping another traitor. So Natalie was coming to me with more evidence than Colton was. Even though Colton was right that Lisa is a traitor. Colton also says, and I thought this was really smart, he says, pay attention to the people who are trying to steer you away from Lisa, because that will tell you who's the traitors. And I was like, that is smart. If Colton plays like that, then yeah, and now I can respect that because that is really great gameplay. But we're going to get into why he got real messy, and I don't appreciate the messiness. We see that all the housewives come in. And Colton goes, oh, look, there's the housewives sticking together because we see Candace, Dorinda, and Lisa all come into the rooms together. Now, to me, I'm like, I think there needs to be some separation. Honestly, yes, I get that Candace is a traitor and she wants to stick for her traitors, but I think Candace needs to separate herself from Lisa. Honestly, I
It's gonna
feel
bring her
like
down.
it's going to bring her down because they're so close. And then she has a tendency to, I guess, inadvertently steer the conversation away from Lisa. And so soon people are going to be like, why you always keep the conversation away from Lisa?
Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna look very suspicious, especially if she is like the next one eliminated or banished.
Correct. Right. And then Colton also comments on Lisa not wearing any sunglasses. And he says, hey, like, oh my God, like, I'm so happy that you're not wearing any sunglasses because I can look in your eyes. And so Lisa's like, oh, so what do you want to see? He's like, oh, my future. And I'm like, this catty bitch. Like it's not even a good caddy. Like
No,
you trying to be
he's
catty and you trying to be shady, and it doesn't even fit you.
it does not at all. And that smirky does kind of pisses me the fuck off, honestly.
I'm telling you,
I know
it's
he think he ate with
off-putting.
that, but he didn't.
His confessional smirk when he did, he was like, "I'm on to her,"
Or when he
and
just
he says that's.
or he did it to them directly too, like when he just kind of like smirk. Ugh.
I don't like it. He thought he ate with "I want to see my future." He really thought he ate with that line, though. He
He
thought he was
didn't.
eating.
He did not.
So in the car going to the mission, Colton tells Tara, he tells Dorinda, and he tells Rob in the car that he's on to Lisa as being a traitor. And he says that if he doesn't make it to breakfast the next
Yep.
morning, that it's because of Lisa.
I do think the smartest thing he could have done is tell everyone.
Everybody.
And that's what I had said about Monet. I was like, if Monet had just told like 2 other people, she would have been saved because they were not going to kill her if she had spread it around. Because then they were like, oh shit, well, Monet was right.
Correct. Now, he also asks Rob. He's like, Rob, what do you think about that? And then Rob was like, it's plausible.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was smart because the backstory, I didn't know that him and Colton had an alliance, or that was one of his closest alliance. Nobody knew that until this episode. So because of the context, okay, I can understand why he did that. Because up until this point, he really wasn't socializing with Lisa. So now all of a sudden, if you find yourself going to back with Lisa, it's like, why are you so gun-ho about Lisa? Now, if Dorinda would have said, no, I don't believe that, that's a different story because Dorinda is friends with Lisa and they have been chummy in the game. That would make sense. So that I understand why he did it, because you want to take the heat off of you as a fellow traitor. Yes. But where I find some problems with this is because you're doing too much. Like, he's doing too much. He's all of a sudden, like, now you want to come alive. Now you're believing Colton. But where was this Rob before?
Well, I think it's similar with like Mark and Johnny. Like there was so many loud personalities, and he's such a like quiet reserved person that like there was no chance for it to come out. But now that it's like there's less people there, like he kind of has to speak up, um, because there's no other option. If you don't, they're gonna look at you and be like, "You're a traitor." Also, I think it's getting to him. I think I think his downfall is gonna be he's gonna unravel.
Honestly, I was not expecting Rob to be the one to have the first traitor-on-traitor betrayal. I was not
I
expecting
thought it
that
was gonna be
at
Lisa.
all. I really expected Lisa to be the one to have the first traitor-on-traitor betrayal. I was not expecting Rob to be the first one because that was the first traitor-on-traitor betrayal by Rob saying, I think it's plausible that Lisa could be a traitor in the car. I was like, oh, shit, this is going to be an interesting
It is,
turret.
and it was.
Well, it will be because we haven't seen them in a turret.
Right? No, yes, my bad.
Okay, so on to the mission. The mission essentially is a cabin in the woods. Poor thing. I was like, Lord, child, Jesus. I remember every time they're in the cabins, some nasty shit happened. I'm like, Lord, Jesus, I cannot. I can't. I was like, please don't bring no spiders. I said, please don't bring no spiders. And they had spider webs. I said, oh my God. I said, why are they doing this to me?
See, I didn't think this episode, or not this episode, but this challenge was that bad in particular. I mean, granted, I've actually only watched one other challenge from Traitors with the cabin because I had to stop watching season 2 because I was getting them mixed up and I was like, fuck, it's going to mess me up. But that one in season 1 was absolutely terrifying. When they, like, two of them were stuck with bugs and the other two were stuck with rats. That was terrifying. This to me was not terrifying at all. Like they were put in a cabin that wasn't even that dark, and they just had like really bad actors with really bad Party City costumes coming out to scare them. Like it wasn't scary. I don't know why they were screaming and hollering. The bugs were nowhere near them. And it just gave like that SpongeBob episode of like the paint will start peeling from the walls. Like that's what it gave me. I don't know why they were screaming so much.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you have it. That's how Giovanni really feels, y'all.
I
On the other hand, I didn't think it was scary. I didn't like the bugs. I don't like the spider webs. I don't like dust. So like that part bothered me, but it wasn't like so scary because I know me. I would have probably punched one of them. No, but you're not gonna just get in my personal space.
Eric was pissed. He was like, "Shut up! Stop
Like you're not gonna
screaming!"
get in. Yeah, you're not gonna get in my personal space. So I get really aggressive if you in my space. Regardless of that, it's fight or flight, and I'm fighting. I cannot. But the bugs would have took me out. Even if they're not close to me, those bugs would have took me out. I cannot do it. Can't do. But
I can see them from afar. It's when they're like right here. No.
no. But once they're inside, they will be given a set of cryptic clues of someone who is buried in the graveyard. And whenever the cabin door opens, two players will have 30 seconds to stand in front of the grave they believe that the clue belongs to. And for every correct answer, they can get a potential $3,000. And there are 6 clues. So potentially they can get $18,000. Now, one of the burial sites has 2 shields, but if they take the shields, it will be at the expense of money. So essentially, if they take the shields, they will just be pretty much opting out of going to get money from the grave, which I'm like, okay. But the group then says, while they're sitting down at the table, that no one is going for the shields. And Natalie says, if you take a shield, you are getting banished tonight. And I was like, again, this is stupid gameplay from the faithfuls.
It is. That is very stupid.
Like, this makes no sense. Like, why are we telling the faithfuls not to go get shields? And if you do get a shield, you're getting banished. At the end of the day, that makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. Because if somebody had taken it and then they banished them that same night, they would look real stupid if they were faithful.
Correct. Exactly. But then we see that the first group out is Candace and Tara because they're the skaters. And they say that the clue is Louise Clark at first, but it ends up being Louise Black. And so they head to Louise Clark, which is wrong.
I love how, I don't remember who it was, but I love how she tried to go for the money anyway and he just pulled it away.
Candace, yes.
She's like, oh, the money, go grab it. Like, no, girl, you were wrong. Do you not see it popped up in a different grave?
Yeah, I thought that was so funny that they snatched the money back to the grave. I thought that was so shady. I was like, I live for the pettiness. That was amazing. So shout out to the hand actor for that, because that was really good. Next group is Jam Jam and Mora. And he says that he wants to go get the shield. But Mora's like, no, because of what Natalie said. Remember, listen, if you go get the shield, you're getting banished. And so Jam Jam is like, but I really wanted the shield.
I would have been like, they can't banish both of us.
That's also true. But they get Jack Stone, which is correct, and they get $3,000. The next group is Mark and Lisa, and they have Dorothy Darkin, which is also correct, and they get $3,000 for that. The group after that is Johnny and Dorinda, and they get Birdie Singh, which is correct, and they add $3,000 to the pot. And then the next group after that is Kristen and Colton, and they get Dale Cross, which is correct, and they get $3,000. And then the last clue is with Natalie and Steven, and they get Valentine Springs, which is correct, and they get $3,000. So they get a total of $15,000 because they got 5 out of the 6 clues correct. And then the last group was Eric, Rob, and Ron, and they go back to the castle. But Alan tells them that they get $15,000 and also that nobody took the shield.
I thought at the end, when there was just the last 3 of them left, I thought he was about to give them all shields as a gag. Like, y'all stay till the end. Like, I was waiting for it. And that would have been gaggy.
Yeah.
Like, if y'all had just stuck around all the way to the end instead of screaming and hollering your way out of there, you would have gotten a shield.
Yeah, it would have been really good to see that happen, but he didn't do that. And then we see back in the car with Eric, Rob, and Ron that Ron has already checked out. He's like, you know what? I really wish I could stay longer because I'm really enjoying you guys. I think it's such an amazing time. And Rob is like, you never know because this game moves really fast. And I'm like, you're getting too close. You're getting too close to the faithfuls. You're getting too close. You was playing a really good game. You was playing a really smart game. And now you're putting your emotions in play. You gotta learn how to separate. That's why I said it's not easy
I know.
being
A traitor. I
a
know.
traitor. It's not. It's not
And
easy
that's what I
being a
said. Like, I
traitor.
think his downfall is going to be him unraveling.
Then we also see that Rob is in the kitchen with everybody else. He's also in there with Candace and Lisa, by the way. And he tells the group that he doesn't believe that Ron is a traitor and that he does that in front of Lisa, Candace, and Steven. But now you got Candace looking at Rob all type of sideways. Like,
yep. Her gaze, I was like, ooh, girl, you giving it away.
But I don't think she was giving it away too much as Lisa.
I think it's just because we knew, like, we know. That's why we're like, oh, you're giving it away.
Yes. I think that was very Candace of her to look at him like, what? Like, to know Candace and know Candace's face. I think Candace looking at him like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's such a Candace thing. But I think Lisa was the one that was really cringing because at that point, her name is being tossed around. Like, she now needs to put some heat on somebody else. And the only person that she can possibly do that is Ron. And so now you have your fellow traitor saying you don't think Ron is the traitor. And it's coming from Rob, who historically so far has been the one that's been very quiet. Nobody is suspecting Rob to be the traitor, so they're like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. Meanwhile, Johnny is pulling all the faithfuls together to try to get Colton out. But some of them are still on the fence because a lot of them think it still is Ron, which I don't blame them because Ron has been strong and wrong this whole entire competition. And so it would make sense for you to be really strong in your conviction to Ron getting him banished. I understand.
Even though it was wrong.
But Johnny pulls Rob in the room and he lets him know about the plan, being able to control the round table with 8 votes. At that point, Johnny is thinking that Rob is a faithful and Candace is a faithful, and that's going to be like one of his bands. Yeah. And Maura's like, we can't get Candace. She wants Ron gone, and that's it. Like, it's so we can eliminate Candace because Candace is not going to change her vote. So let's go for Rob. Okay. I have another shout out, and my other shout out goes to Jasmine. Her handle is J Henley Brown on Instagram, and I was watching her Instagram story. And when I tell you, when I was rewatching the Traitors episode, I started dying because now I can't not unhear it. And so she was talking about Rob's Southern accent. Now, we all know that Rob is from Alabama. But throughout the episodes, he really doesn't have a Southern accent. But there's one moment when Johnny is telling him the plan that they're trying to go for Colton. And he goes, they're planning a coup. They're trying to get Colton tonight. And when I say that accent was so Alabama, I was like, what?
I didn't catch it.
I need you to watch it back. And he was like, they're planning a coup. He said they're trying to get Colton tonight.
Usually when Rob is on the screen, I'm not paying attention to what he's saying. I'm just like staring.
Same. But Jasmine said it. And now I can't unhear it now. Shout out to Jasmine because that shit was funny. Okay? I've been cracking up this whole entire time because where that Southern accent come from? Rob Roush, what you doing over there? But here's where I find it to be the most cringiest part of this whole fucking episode. Okay? Colton goes in the kitchen and he looks dead in Lisa's face. And he goes, I want to talk to you. And then he pulls her to the next room. And I thought that was so fucking cringe. Like, it is the cringiest fucking moment. He goes, okay, I'll protect you at the round table if you protect me in the turret. For her to be Lisa fucking Rinna, she's doing a really horrible job at pretending she is a faithful child.
She is. The way she kind of tried to dissuade him that she was a traitor, it was bad. But I guess it's maybe because we know. I mean, I don't know Lisa like that, maybe as much as you do. Like I know of Lisa Renner, but to me it just seemed very like bad acting, honestly.
It was. It was a bad acting moment from Lisa, I'm not gonna lie. But also Colton goes, I wanna win this thing with you. But
You
that
can't
doesn't
fuck
make
if you.
sense.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if she's a traitor and you both end up in the finale, like you're the last two, you lose. You automatically lose. There is no we can't win. You guys are on the opposite side. If you genuinely think
Correct.
she's a traitor, there is no we, dumbass.
Thank you. Thank you. So I was confused as to why he said that.
Because he's a dumbass.
So a part of me is like, is he trying to say, like, listen, recruit me? Like, if there is a recruitment, recruit me, because then we
Huh?
could both be traitors together. Because that's the only way that you can win together.
Uh-huh.
And even then, I don't think that two traitors will split the money. I mean, we've never seen it before, so we don't know what would happen.
Yeah. Isn't that the case though?
But
They
I
say
was,
like whoever's left takes it.
if the traitor is left, the traitor takes it all.
No,
So
but
if
but
there's two traitors,
but they've
maybe they'll
alluded.
split the money.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they alluded to it in season 1 that it was like how like if there's traitors left, they take it, like
Yes,
in an even way. Okay,
but no, but
like
like it's
but no, but
if
like
the traitors
even way, like split up, and
could
I think
have.
that's why what's her name? Whoever won season 1, I'm horrible with names. That's why she
Sari.
called for that final vote because she didn't want to split the money with him.
So I mean, okay, so that's what I'm saying. So like, it's possible then that they would be able to split the money, but we don't want to know because no traitor has done that yet. We haven't had two traitors. We could have had two traitors at season 1, but it ended up being
she was
Sari
being
taking the
greedy.
whole entire thing.
Yeah,
Which no, I don't think so. I think she had a right to.
it was good TV, bitch.
It was good TV. Maybe we should rewatch that
Yes.
after it's finished, and then we recap it.
Yes.
But Lisa also goes that. So I put that Lisa is not really doing a good job of proving that she's faithful, and that's just my opinion. But then Colton goes, well, the reason why I'm on to you is because of that Portia vote that didn't sit right with me because you went against the housewives. And I'm like, you, Colton, I get it. Like, you are on the right track because Lisa is a traitor, but you're not proving to anyone else as to why you feel like she's a traitor other than the fact that she went against the housewife. And that's not really giving me anything.
No. Well, I think it is actually a big reason to go against her, but not for the reasons he stated. I guess, like for me, I see it more as like the reason they murdered. What's her name? Caitlyn, Courtney, the housewife.
Caroline.
Like if he knew that, then
Courtney?
him saying that would have made sense. But like the whole Portia thing doesn't make sense.
Right, but he also knew that because Caroline was not at breakfast, and he was the one that allowed Caroline to stay in the cage. So technically, he got Caroline murdered.
Yeah.
So, and you think she's a traitor? That means she went off. That means that she went against a housewife 2 times. So not just Portia, but also Caroline as well.
Huh.
If you want to state that the reason why you're always doing that is because you think that she's a traitor.
And then you could have also stated like she's been up for murder twice, come back twice.
We also don't know if he said that, but we just know by the edit what he's saying is that it's the Portia vote, right? We don't know all the other context. So we see at the round table that chaos ensues. Now, it is crickets for a good, it seems like it was a good 20 minutes, but it seemed like everybody was just looking at each other. It was so awkward, Joe. It was the awkward, everything was so bad. But
I was not expecting Mark to break the silence.
Well, technically, Mark didn't. It was Ron that did.
Was it Ron? Oh,
yes.
It was Ron.
Ron goes, Ron goes, hey, does anybody, what I got? Because we got to use the time.
I forgot.
He's like, we gotta use the time. And then Mark goes and he says, well, Ron, here's why I think it's you, because of all the things that you have said on the previous, all of these round tables. You've all been really strong in your conviction, but you've been really convincing, but you also have been really wrong. And so everybody jumps on the bandwagon. And I agree. I agree with everything that Mark has said, because Ron has been strong and wrong this whole entire time. But at the end of the day, that's also the name of the game, though. I think what did Ron in is the fact that he was so close with Donna, and Donna ended up being a traitor. I think that's ultimately
They can't see.
No, but nobody seems to be bringing it up though.
They did though, didn't they? I feel like I heard something about
Eventually.
it this episode. Okay,
Yeah, but eventually, but nobody's saying that that's the reason why they're going for Ron. They keep saying that Ron has been like pointing fingers at everybody else, but
Who
nobody's really
hasn't?
saying that the biggest pain point is the fact that Ron was really close with Donna, and Donna ended up being a traitor. Like, that's your smoking gun right there. Boom, let it go. That's it. Run with that. Hit with that. Keep hitting with that. But Ron says that, he's been very consistent, to which Dorinda goes, well, we need to be able to interact with each other. And Ron goes, no, ma'am. No, we don't.
Ron was not having it. I don't remember them having some type of fight.
So I have some tea. I love that you said that. I love that you brought that up.
Because I was confused. I was like, did they have a fight?
I love that you said that, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, wait, where's this smoke coming from?
Uh-huh.
But apparently, Ron has said this. I don't know what the tweet is at. Maybe I'll find it. But Ron has said that when at the round table, Dorinda has been saying things that had nothing to do with the game. So because it had nothing to do with the game, they edited it out.
Uh-huh.
But that's why he says that's why Ron says the things that he says to Dorinda specifically, and that he does not like Dorinda, because he says that he can't have a conversation with somebody because it's very disrespectful.
I want to know what she said.
A part of me feels like Dorinda hit below the belt.
I mean, yeah,
which
obviously.
is why they edited it out. But I feel like Dorinda always has a smoke for Ron, and Ron is like, I don't give a fuck. And I think we're only getting Ron's side of the thing because Dorinda is saying things that have nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
According to like production or just the whole game itself, they're only allowed to talk about game. That's it.
I mean, that makes sense. It makes sense.
And they're very protective over the game. They only can go in places where the cameras are at. They are so under wraps when it comes to playing the traitors. So that's why Ron has the smoke. Colton also goes for Ron because of he says the Tiffany and the Portia vote, but from my understanding, the Tiffany vote was Colton and the Portia vote was Ron.
Yeah. Yeah, that made no sense.
So I was like, okay.
He's getting a little confused. I don't know.
Right. But here is where Ron gagged Colton. See, this is my problem with Colton. You can't.
Sassy as fuck.
But my thing is, you can't try to come for the girls and then get gagged when the girls come back for you. Like,
what was he said? But you've been wrong more times than I have, or something like that.
He did. He said, but you have been wrong more times than me. When I tell you I died, I died.
I was like, oh my God.
I died the first time I watched. I died the first time I watched it. I died the second time I watched it. And I knew it was coming the second time, and I still died. I still was gagged.
I was like, this is the Ron we needed all along.
My thing is, I don't know how many times Colton is going to be put in his place.
See, I want Colton gone, but at the same time, I'm loving this like streak we're having of him being humbled, and I want it to continue, and I need somebody to humble him next episode for the outfit we saw in the preview.
We're going to talk about that outfit in a second. But what I put up here is a tweet that somebody put, and I thought that was really important because I have that in my notes too. It says, because we don't like Michael, we don't count it. But because we lost Portia, right, we're still on me, and I don't think that's fair. That's what I was alluding to in the beginning when I was talking about it. I said, I don't think it's right that we keep harping on Ron because of his Portia vote, but we don't have that same level of smoke for Colton with Tiffany's vote. Or Michael's vote, by the way. They were both faithfuls too.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean, that makes total sense, and I agree with Ron. I mean, honestly, this whole roundtable for me would have convinced me if I was there that Ron was not a traitor.
I mean, it convinced a lot of folks that Ron wasn't a traitor.
But not enough.
It convinced Tara that he wasn't.
It convinced Tara, and I mean, Rob obviously knows he's not a fucking traitor. It convinced like one other person.
Yep. Johnny said he felt like Colton was using him as a puppet, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that he was being swayed. I love that Kristen said, listen, if we're going to hold Ron to the fire, we're going to hold Ron accountable to the Portia vote, then we need to hold you accountable for the Tiffany vote. And I was like, whack him again.
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
whack 'em again.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Oh my
whack 'em
god.
again for me, please. Like, thank you. Because we have to. We have to be able to hold Colton and put Colton's feet to the fire because he was strong and wrong in his conviction for Tiffany. But all of a
Very
sudden, you
strong.
got all this smoke for Ron because of Portia's vote.
That happened way before Tiffany.
Then Colton says, you know what? Okay, everybody want to come for me. Okay. I think it's Lisa. And here's the reason why. Because Lisa's not the same Lisa that we've known. Lisa's a housewife, but she's been this demure Lisa. And the Portia vote, and we all know it's unspoken that what he says is this verbatim. I don't know that much about the housewives, but I know that it's an unspoken rule to go against the housewives. So you know about the housewives or you don't know about the housewives?
Apparently he does.
Which one is it?
I don't know.
And then Natalie wants to put the battery in his back, and she goes, yeah, because I would never vote somebody from Survivor, especially the first time that we're meeting at the round table, because I need my numbers. And I'm like, that's not true. That's not necessarily true. But sure, again, nobody is coming at Lisa with facts. Hey, Lisa, you've been up for murder and you have not got banished yet. Lisa, you gave a lot of details with the face-to-face murder, but you are harping on the fact that Lisa is not like this over-the-top breaking glass, talking about Harry Hamlin. Nobody talked about Harry Hamlin. Maybe that's why she didn't break a glass.
Don't talk about my husband.
Nobody returned the little bunny back to her. So maybe that's why she's not crying. Like, you never know. There has to be a reason as to why she's not. But we understand that why she's doing what she's doing. Yes.
Yeah.
But what I thought was really bad was that Candace was like, here we go again. Here's a distraction. And I was like, ooh, Candace, you're trying to veer the conversation away from Lisa. You just need to let it play out. And I was like, that may not be good in your favor because I don't know. Like, I was like, ooh, girl, don't do that.
They might come for you next.
Yeah, because you're sticking up for Lisa. I was like, ooh, don't do that. Just let Lisa go. Let her go. Child, let her go. Let her go. Let her go. It's okay.
And that's why I said I think Rob was right in his choice to vote for Lisa.
Okay, I'm not knocking that. What I'm knocking is you made promises to Ron and you made promises to Colton. And so if you renege on these promises, then it looks really bad on you.
Yeah.
But you were in the room when everybody was coming to you and saying Colton. Now it could look like you are the traitor and then you and Colton are traitors together because now you're both trying to gang up on Lisa. Because if you would have went for Colton, that would have showed that you weren't a traitor. So I think everybody's so like gun-ho the fact that he went for Lisa. But I felt like at that moment, he did not need to go for Lisa. He could have went for Colton and he still would have been okay because he already went in the group of the 8 with Johnny and they was already on Colton. Now all of a sudden you believe Colton so much and you trust him. Why are you trusting Colton so much? When Colton has been the one that's been whipping the votes and he's been wrong. Yeah, Lisa Rinna is Lisa Rinna and she has questionable antics. But now all of a sudden you are so gun-ho with Colton where the group of 8 was like, Colton has been the one.
It pissed me off so much when they went against the consensus that they had made up. Because if they had just stuck to fucking Colton, he would have been gone.
Yes, Colton was a distraction. Colton brought Lisa up to save his ass because he knew that he was about to be banished. Which eventually, by the time that Rob is one of the last votes to be cast, we have 5 votes to Ron, we have 4 votes for Lisa, and we have 4 votes for Colton. It is neck and neck.
It was. I was literally like this there,
like it is neck and neck. And it's because Colton threw a curveball and threw Lisa's name out there. And that's what changed people's votes. But we see that Mark was the last vote, and Ron, unfortunately, is the one that gets banished. And we see that Ron is a faithful. And everybody's devastated, but I think for them, they get a little bit of clarity, which is good. But we also see that Alan comes in and he tells them, he's like, listen, I see the look of disappointment on everybody's face. So I think it's time for a banquet. Let's eat, drink, and be merry. It's time for a banquet. But lo and behold, the traitors need to do another murder in plain sight. And this one is going to be very difficult.
It is. it is. When he said what it was, I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna be hard." It would have been really funny for Colton to wear, but that would have been a dead giveaway.
You mean it would have been really hard
But no,
for Ron to wear
I
it,
did not
not
just say
Colton.
fuck.
You
Why
said
did I?
Colton. Yes, you
I
did.
know. I realized that as soon as I said, it, I was like, "Why the fuck would Colton wear it?" Yes, my bad. I got my white boys mixed up.
I don't know how you could, but okay. But so I have a question because I saw this tweet and I thought it was really interesting. So the tweet by Queens of Bravo said the producers are setting the stage to get a housewife out and clear the path for Rob to win. Who else but Lisa or Candace can naturally wear the amulet and not raise suspicion? I don't know.
I don't know if it's necessarily a setup, but I do think, yes, I do agree with like that Rob could not have worn this without raising suspicion. It would have looked weird. It would have been funny, but it would have looked weird.
Also, I don't think Lisa should have been the one to wear it.
I think it makes sense for Lisa to wear it. You think it should have been Candace?
No, I think it should have been Candace because Lisa has not worn anything that has like shiny jewelry on. Candace has.
Okay. But this was
Candace
also
could have had
like,
it on. Candace could have had it on a headpiece. Candace could have had it on a dress. Candace is very over the top with her fashion so far that we've seen in this. We have not seen that from Lisa. And I think it's very obvious if Lisa's going to have people touch her, then it automatically seems like, oh shit. But mind you, she didn't know that she was going to be called out. So this has happened before she was getting called out. So I get that piece. But in my head, I'm like, it's really obvious that now all of a sudden you have this amulet on your lapel and then you happen to have people to touch it. It's getting low, like, I don't know, a little questionable.
if she had been banished, would that have meant they wouldn't have gotten to murder?
No, they would still got to murder someone.
But
They still would have to pull up. They would have to pull it off.
But from the looks of the turret, it looked like they had picked the night before who was gonna wear it. So she had it.
Yeah. Yeah, even if she would have got banished, they still would have told Candace that she would have, like, one of them would have had to wear it. Like,
Okay,
it still,
okay.
they was not going to have, not have a murder in
Okay.
plain sight.
Okay.
She just wouldn't have been the one to wear it. The other choice by default would have been Candace.
Yeah.
Or they would have told them that they need to recruit someone. And I mean, the obvious choice would have probably been a female, so they can have another female to wear the amulet.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we also see what, obviously I put it here, and there's another tweet by someone. It was like, girl, you look a fucking mess with that damn cheap ass Amazon body pearl necklace. And I was like, oh my God, like everybody is coming for Colton. And he thought he was eating.
I know he thought he ate with that, but he didn't. When it popped up, I was like, what the fuck is that? He needs to fire his stylist. And if he doesn't have one, he needs to get one. And if he does have one and she didn't put that there for him, or he or they put that in the suitcase for him and he went against them, I know they're back home like kicking and screaming and watching this being like, why the fuck did you put that on?
Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think he has that much awareness and the fact that he's not eating. But who do you think is going to be the one to get murdered?
The stylist, if he has a stylist and he ignored. Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the one to get murdered?
I hope it's not Johnny. But I can see Johnny going up to touch the amulet.
You know, honestly, I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna be able to.
Okay.
I don't think. I think it's going to because it's going to be so chaotic that they do not get to actually do the murder in plain sight. I don't think it's going to work.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Because Alan keeps talking about how this is probably going to be the best episode of the season and that he is so excited about this episode, which makes me want to. Thursday can't get here quick enough for me. So, friends, who's getting murdered next? Do you think the traitors are going to pull off this murder in plain sight? And do you think Rob was right doing the traitor-on-traitor betrayal? Drop in the comments, send us a DM, let us know, interact with us. We really are curious. And you may get your response on our next recap episode. But you know what to do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single episode of No Ma'am. Until next time, bye.